let's start this video off with an apology from me. I'm sorry for what I've been saying when it comes to the day of the draft for the past couple weeks. So I'm an idiot, and I thought that the draft was yesterday, and then day 2 of it was today. Little did I know, when I found out like moments before, I thought it was supposed to begin. Yeah, I'm stupid. Clown me all you want in the comments. Clown my haircut too. I just got today. Yeah, it's pretty good, but I don't know what to think. I'm waiting for it to grow out, and then it'll, we'll see from there what it ends up being. But we actually have news to talk about. I thought this would just be an apology video, but no. We have 5 pieces of news since my last video that I found were major enough. One of them just breaking. We're going to save that till the end. Let's start with the move that happened yesterday, not long after my video uploaded, and that was the Dubnyk trade. Dubnyk is sent from the Minnesota Wild, along with a 7th round pick in 2022, belonging to Minnesota, in exchange for a 5th round pick belonging to San Jose in 2022. So, pretty much, you can jam the 2 trades together if you want. I'm not going to, but yeah, this is an interesting deal for both sides. I don't know if I can call this a win-win for both sides. It's kind of just like, I think this is one of those trades where in history we're just going to look back and be like, oh yeah, that was like a man trade. Because Dubnyk is getting older, and he's falling off. Now, for San Jose, you do get a goalie like Dubnyk, and all you have to do is move back a couple rounds in a draft. So it's not the worst thing ever, but man, are you really confident in a Martin Jones Dubnyk goaltending pair? Like, that is going to be interesting to watch play out, to say the least. And for Minnesota, I want to say this was a needed move. I think it was. This team clearly is not going to be good. And one thing I will credit Bill Guerin for, he is in a situation where it's going to be very hard for him to blow this ship up and kind of be like, okay, we're not going to do anything. And with the moves he's making, they do seem a little bit suspicious. But at the same time, I think what he's trying to do is blow this team up as much as he can. As much as possible. Anyway, so maybe that's what he's going for. I'm fairly certain it is. But yeah, up next we have the Tage Thompson re-signing. Tage Thompson re-signs with the Buffalo Sabres, 3 years for $1.4 million a year. It's an interesting contract. It could pay off. I don't really know. I haven't really seen enough of Tage Thompson to be able to gauge that. I know he, let's just say he isn't Ryan O'Reilly, for sure. But Tage Thompson, if he can do something, maybe become a solid bottom 6 player, that would be great. Maybe I think that's obviously what the Sabres are hoping for at this point. I don't know if there's much top 6 potential with him, but that's bottom 6 money. If he can be a reliable bottom 6 piece, that would be great for them, like I said. Now we're going to get to 2 buyouts. Now we're getting to today's news. Carl Alzner and Justin Abdelkader have both been bought out by their respective teams in the Montreal Canadiens and in the Detroit Red Wings. Now, let's start with Carl Alzner. This is an interesting move to me, okay? Now, I know his contract's bad, and that's why you want to buy it out. The contract's bad. This is a situation where Montreal have cap already. So unless they're going to go out there and make a big play, which they did make a move today, but I don't know if that's the big play they're going to be making. Unless they're going to go out there and make a humongous move, I don't fully understand what they're coming from on this one. This is a bit of a risky move. Like, not risky. Like, obviously it's good to get contract off the books, but it just doesn't make sense to me in a way. I feel like this is a situation where you probably could have waited until next year if you wanted to. But hey, they're going to buy it out now. Maybe it's just because if they bought it out next year, the money, because they are paying a lot of money in this first year, the buyout, maybe that's why they want to avoid that for next year. I don't know. I'm not a buyout wizard. This is probably going to look like a really good move when they win the Stanley Cup this year or something. Then Detroit buys out Justin Abdelkader. Again, this is a situation where I think maybe you could have waited. I mean, what are Detroit going to do with the cap space? I've heard of them possibly going for Torrey Krug, Is Tory Crew gonna cost more than like $20 million per year? Is that the idea here? Is he gonna cost that much? Um, all in all, these are two interesting buyouts, but I don't know. I don't really know about them. And then we get the most interesting deal here. This is what I'm going to spend most of this video talking about. I'm even going to pull up statistics for it. We're going to go to good old Cap Friendly here. Good old Cap for actually, you know what? Cap Friendly, they already have all the information I need right here on TweetDeck, on the TweetDeck I have set up. We have seen the Columbus Blue Jackets and Montreal Canadiens make a deal. To Columbus, Max Domi and the 78th pick in exchange for Josh Anderson. Both of them are RFAs. Both of them are coming off of what you could consider down years from the year before. And I don't know what to think, man. In a way, it makes sense for both teams, I think, equally. Let's talk about Columbus first and what they're getting. Columbus are getting Max Domi, who, he came into the NHL, a lot of promise, He'd had some fairly good stretches with the Coyotes at times early when he was really young, and then he kind of just sunk into the mediocrity, almost. Not mediocrity, but mediocrity, actually. That's probably a good way to say it, Wasn't the best, most glaring forward, and then he gets traded to Montreal in exchange for Galchenyuk, has an incredible 18-19 season, then falls off a little bit, and now as an RFA, after stinting on the fourth line, maybe moving up a little bit during the bubble, there was a lot of talk about, okay, are Montreal going to give him the money that he's asking for? Josh Anderson, on the other hand, this year had one word to sum up his season: injury. So many injury issues. You look at the amount of games he actually played. He played 26 games, spent 120 days on the injury reserve. 1 goal and 3 assists in those 26 games as well. Here's the thing. I do not look at those point totals for that injured season and say, man, he really fell off as much as I would have if you took those and then he played a full 82 game or full season, however much you can play of a full season in the events, and you saw, wow, like whatever the points would be for that many games. Really, when you're getting injured that much, when you're fluctuating like that, you never really have the time to get on that roll. And that's why I think Josh Anderson took a big hit this year. So, pretty much, what are both teams getting? Obviously, Columbus, they're getting Max Domi. We know what Max Domi offers. And they're also getting a third. I believe that from the offset, I look at the two. You ask me who's better, Max Domi or Josh Anderson. When they are at their best, when they are doing their thing, who's better? My answer is Max Domi. My answer is, so the fact that they got Domi and a third, if Domi can kind of revitalize there, that would be a giant coup. And also, Domi might be exactly what the Columbus Blue Jackets are looking for, because they have some guys who can put the puck in the back of the net, but they're still lacking some offensive drivers. Hello, Max Domi. This guy can create offense for you. He can play make for you. He can set up a guy like Cam Atkinson, who, if I'm not mistaken, if it wasn't this year, it was the year before, if I'm not mistaken. He had a 40-goal campaign. Like, he is not a bad player at all. I don't know exactly how many goals he had, but I know he had a fairly prolific season in the past couple. So if him and Domi can maybe get on the same page, get some chemistry, that could be a deadly duo for Columbus. That being said, for Montreal's side of things, I also see this trade as making sense. Max Domi was playing as a center. You don't need him to play center, because you have Suzuki and Kotkaniemi. By the way, we can officially confirm pretty much their 1 and 2 centers are going to be Suzuki and Kotkaniemi next year. I feel like that's a pretty obvious statement to make when you remove Max Domi. Philip Deneau's also in the conversation. I think he's probably going to platoon, maybe split with Kotkaniemi a little bit. I think Suzuki is safe with the top 6 role, though. I think what Josh Anderson brings to the Montreal Canadiens is simple. A big guy. They don't have a lot of size in their top 6. Not a lot of toughness, sorry. Not a lot of toughness to their top 6. Josh Anderson can bring that. A big physical presence who can also put up some points. Now, I'm not one to speculate because I don't know exactly what they had their lines as. You know, I'm just somebody who just looks at the best players on their team. They now kind of have crafted a fairly good top six, because now they have, on the left wing, you have Druin and Tatar. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Up the middle, you're going to have two of Suzuki, Kotkaniemi, and Deneau. And now on the right wing, you have Brendan Gallagher, of course. And now you add to that Josh Anderson. He fills that top six right wing role. And if he can bounce back, which honestly, in Montreal, in the role he'll need to be in, I think he will play very well. You know, I think that that's going to pay off. Honestly, I think that this trade is going to be going down as a better trade for both teams. Again, I'm going to give it to now. I'm going to say Columbus is the team that won that trade, simply because I do believe Domi is better. And you also get a third-round pick with that. That being said, this is a fairly even trade when you think about it. I'm also really excited to see what's actually going to happen here, because this move could pay off so much. And currently, you know, we talked about a lot of the things that could happen this offseason, a lot of the dominoes that could fall. A lot of them are falling. Like, a lot of those players that are starting to be having their names thrown around, they're getting moved. Domi and Anderson, both of them get moved. They've been talked about in trade rumors. Devin Dubnyk moves. Ryan Donato was not as big of a one, but during that time when San Jose was supposed to be going for him, he went, right? We've had a lot of other major trades dating back to, you know, we had Patrick Hornfist deal. We had the Kasperi Kapanen deal. There's been some other minor deals that have been thrown in there. This is going to be a very interesting offseason, and don't mind me at all. I'm just very quickly going on Cap Friendly and just wanting to see if there's any trades that are in this little bit. I forgot about Stahl for Johansson, Edmondson to Montreal. This is another move for Montreal, by the way. You know, Jake Allen, of course. Nick Bjugstad, you could even consider a bit of a move. This is the beginning of the silly season. This really is going to be the beginning of the silly season. There's going to be, I don't think that this is done either. Like, I think tonight at the draft, we may see some ridiculousness. Now, I do know that top 10 picks being dealt on draft day, it's not that common in the Cap era. I'm pretty sure Cap Friendly tweeted out it's happened 10 times since the Cap era has started. But if there's ever going to be a year where something big happens in the top 10, it's going to be this year. All in all, this draft's going to be big. I think there's going to be a lot of moves. I think there's going to be a lot of good players took him. I am now looking back at my mock draft I made for the top 15, and other than a couple of picks, 10 and beyond, I'm feeling pretty confident with my draft board, if I'm being honest, because I've seen a lot more places have it being Lafreniere, Stützle, Byfield than having it Lafreniere, Byfield, Stützle. It's really one of those 50-50 coin tosses, but I have been seeing a few more that are putting Stützle, sorry. Somebody correct me in the comments, it's Stützle. Tim Stützle at number 2 over Quinton Byfield. Margot Rossi at number 4 might not be my best prediction in the world, but I'm still going to stick by it because I think that is a spot where he can go. And then I think Lucas Raymond's still going to go at 5. I think my draft board's actually going to be fairly correct this year, which I'm happy about. But yeah, that is all, folks. I want to thank you all for watching. Again, I am sorry for the goof over the past couple of days where I said the draft was last night and today was day 2. The draft is tonight, meaning tonight you will see the Oilers video where I react to the draft pick. And tonight you'll also get a draft recap where I'll talk about some of the other moves. I have my notes here about what I'm writing, and as you see here, I've put up here the lead-up events, so things are happening before. I wanted to only have one lead-up event. Wherever I've drawn a line is where I've made a video. So hopefully this section doesn't have to be touched again until the actual draft. Really what's happening right now is just, you know, the minor moves. We're seeing a lot of, you know, moves where it's kind of just, you know, low-end guy resigns and stuff like that. And, you know, we're also seeing a few other rumors as well that I've kind of not, obviously, I don't like talking about rumors, I only like talking about official stuff, but Elliot Friedman here, I really do trust him. He said a couple of things today Toffoli's most likely leaving. It seems like he's out. It seems like Ekman Larson, if he isn't traded by Friday, he's not going to get traded. He's not going to waive that no trade clause or whatever it is. But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting scenario to watch play out. And I'm going to be here for the ride. Thank you all for watching this video. I will see you on the next one, and goodbye for now, everyone.